So today I just wanted to jibber jabber about progress basically. So let's just get into that. Basically, this was the drawing where I started seeing progress. And I don't know, I just saw lightning, thought it was cool, sat down to draw it, and drew it. And I'll talk more towards the end about like the overall process of the drawing, like in hindsight. But you know, I don't know. Usually, I don't know. Sometimes my drawing takes some planning, but this one it was just I just kind of did it. I know that's not quite like screaming progress, but it's progress for me, I guess. Anyways, and I wanted to talk about I'd kind of been keeping like a consistent schedule up to this point of sort of at first, before school started, before all these drawings and before school started, it was like during a break. I produced one drawing every week, and I completed that sort of schedule pretty well. I should say, prior to that, setting that sort of goal for myself, I had no goals whatsoever on deadlines to finish things, so they would just take months for one piece for no reason, just because I just wouldn't push myself to finish it. So I would just work on it forever and keep working on it, cuz I could work on any piece forever. I'm sure other artists feel that way. But you have to call it done, at some point. So yeah, basically in the past, I did the thing that a lot of people do, which I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad thing, that a lot of people do it, but where when school was in session, you wouldn't produce as much art because you quote unquote didn't have enough time. And because you kind of got overwhelmed with school and stuff. And I mean, that's true in some cases. I mean, I'm not saying anything bad against people who do that kind of thing. Sometimes that does just happen. It happens occasionally, but I didn't want to have that happen anymore, basically. I was like, no, this just isn't cool. So I was like, no, when a longer sort of break came, I was like, well, since there's no school, I'm just gonna create as much art as I can. I feel like since there's no school during this long break, there should essentially be no obstacle holding me back from creating art either faster or just more of it. So I did it every week. Then eventually school started back up again, and I was like, okay. And I was trying to figure out how to balance it. And what I did is basically I cut it back, because I also sort of started the YouTube channel when school started back up, also just for fun. And also, well, it wasn't. I would say I mean, I said this before in a past video, I'm pretty sure, where I started the YouTube channel when school started to keep myself accountable, by others seeing it, to keep producing the art. Because I didn't know if when I went back to school, if I would just revert back to my quote unquote old ways and let art be pushed onto the back burner when I wanted it to be my career. So, I started the YouTube channel to kind of keep myself accountable, and basically what I pushed it down to, and the schedule that I've kind of been keeping, is take a week to produce a piece like normal, but then the next week I won't do a piece, and I'll do the editing and recording of a video and post it and stuff. So draw and then video, draw and then video. So I a video goes up supposedly, when things go right, every 2 weeks or twice a month. And I still am keeping the ability to finish a drawing within a week. And at first, obviously there was a bit of a learning curve, it's like, I'm talking like in the way beginning, like before school even started, during the break, like when I was going from taking months to finish a piece to like, just like sitting down for hours at a time, not like 5 minutes at a time, and like just dedicating hours to like actually finishing it because I had a deadline. It still took me quite a few hours, but slowly, as I would produce a piece every week, like I noticed myself slowly, well, I shouldn't say slowly, it's kind of like contradictory, but I noticed myself getting faster and faster at producing pieces, still like within a week timeline, but it would take less and less hours every week. It would fluctuate, of course, because, some pieces do actually take longer than others because they're more intense. Like some, like, quick character sheet drawings, don't take as long as like the painted ones, but I'm talking about like an overall average. And like I kind of talked about in my last video, or at least I think it was my last video, maybe it was the video before, anyways, I talked about how I also noticed over a period of time, since I was producing more pieces over a period of time, and compared to before, I was getting better with each piece, like not only time wise but also like artistically, like style wise. Like I could tell, like maybe not the drawings that happened right next to each other, but like from my first couple of drawings to like my drawings now, there definitely is a difference. And like, especially I'd say in like the painting ones, like I had not painted landscapes in like years, just because I don't know, I had built something up in my head that I was like kind of afraid of them, even though I didn't paint them in high school like all the time, but so I got a little rusty on them. But as I got back into it, and like just, I don't know, something about it just, I remembered, I actually do like painting landscapes and stuff, or like just the painting style in general, because like I've heard other artists talk about, like I do get the feeling that like painting is more like freestyle and stuff, and it's a bit freer than like drawing with lines and stuff. I do agree with that sort of sentiment. So I did really enjoy it. So obviously, if you've watched more than one of my videos, you'll know that I do keep returning to like the painterly type stuff. Especially like with the oil brushes, even though I've never actually used oil paint in real life, but I've used them digitally, and something about them, I love them. Anyways, that's not really the point. I guess if I like broke down like more how I incorporate, like how I manage to keep doing a piece a week even with school, like I guess if I broke that down, like obviously every semester it's different because I'm in art school, I'm in college. Obviously the classes they change. But generally for like, I guess, well, it's been obviously like about 2 semesters since I have started my YouTube channel, or started the drawings. And basically I have changed my method from last semester. But I'll just give you what my current system is, which is like, I do have like a class every day of the week, all of the weekdays, so 5 days a week, and then I have the weekends. So basically what I do is I try my best to like do my homework the day it's assigned. Like generally for each of my classes, like I have the same sort of homework assignment every week, so I can kind of count on that. And I'll try to do it the day it's due, or like do it on a day that like maybe doesn't. Sometimes I do not do homework a day, and I'll just do double the homework the next day or something like that. But it's a lot of things to balance. I don't know, was it this channel that I talked about balancing things, or I don't remember. But basically I have a lot to balance, like anyone does. We all kind of, it's a lifelong struggle with keeping things in balance and like healthy. So basically, yeah, I try to do that homework thing every day. So then I, one, don't have any homeworks on the weekend, so I can, basically do whatever I want that I didn't get to do during the week. Then second, even though I get home like at around 5 every day, because like basically before that it's kind of all taken by like either school or other different school slash job, like, so basically it's like 5 every day for most days. And so when I get home, I'll do like whatever things I might need to do, and then I do make sure to like write slash draw almost every day. Well, actually, I do draw every day. Just some days, like, if I don't necessarily draw, like in free time. I did draw earlier in the day in like art class. I have like 3 art classes, art major and everything. Kind of makes sense. Whatever. And then I already explained to you that there is, the second week where I don't do personal drawing as much, and I just try to focus on using my free time after 5 for like recording, editing, posting the video. And like there is like a balance between like the writing and the drawing a little, because like for the comic and then separate personal art, sometimes they overlap, like when I do like the character sheets, but sometimes like when I need to do pieces for a portfolio, even though you guys don't know they're for my portfolio, like I'll still like record them. But sometimes I can't always do like art for my comic. I feel like maybe I'm getting a little too in the weeds here, a little too specific. Let's try and get back on track. Basically for this piece, if we're talking about, right now the one that's showing on the screen, like I thought I would struggle with it because, kind of the sky does intimidate me more than like, painting mountains or like, plants. The sky is a bit intimidating because it's like, I don't know, ethereal and like weird and has like light and stuff and colors, but so I was intimidated, but when I was actually like doing the piece, I actually found it a little easier than I thought, and I kind of got the same feeling of like I was liking it, like when I was doing the sky in the ocean sort of painting that I did a while back, and I really love doing the sky on that. This kind of returned for the lightning piece. That's kind of why I wanted to do this, because I was like, if I liked it before, maybe going out of my comfort zone with like the sky isn't so bad, even though like clouds kind of scare me. But obviously I can paint clouds, so I'm not sure why I'm scared of them. But yeah, it's just like a mental block, but I'm fine painting clouds for like no reason. um, but yeah, like, and this piece I believe only took about like 2 hours, which is insane. Like, that might be a long time for some people, but like for me, that's like fast compared to like the first drawing I did for this channel. This is like insane progress. And I know it's kind of like a simple sort of skyscape with just, you know, clouds and lightning, but I still feel like, you know, I still feel like I ate, you know? And I'm allowed to feel that. So yeah, I was a bit unsure, like, kind of like how far, I mean, in every painting that I use reference, I'm like unsure how much of the reference I want to keep and how much I want to be different. But you know, that's every piece. But I think I'm pretty happy with how this piece turned out overall. And basically, the summary of this video is like, I've made a lot of progress in a lot of different areas, you know, all because I decided to push myself outside of my comfort zone, all, you know, for the goal of achieving what I want, which is keeping art in my life no matter what other obstacles try to like take over my time. Like, I am very on top of managing my school because I do attend like 2 different schools, an in-person one and an online one. And I do, and you know, I also have all my meal prep and like house stuff I have to do. I have a social life, all that kind of stuff. I'm trying to make a comic. Like, I'm very on top of like managing my time, and like every single week I make a plan because it's very important to me that art is one of my priorities, because, you know, it didn't used to be, and it was kind of shitty, you know? So since I made it a priority, and like I make sure that neither of the schools take over my life or encroach on art time, like honestly it's just been really fun and it's been better. And I do think it was a good idea to start the YouTube channel to make myself, you know, keep myself accountable and like keep producing art. Like, it definitely does help. And it's not in like a fear way. Like, I'm not, you know, I don't have like, I'm not like shooting fear into myself and doing it out of fear. Like, it's just like an extra motivator, like in a positive way. I should clarify, in a positive way. Like, I'm making myself do these things and enjoying, you know, making myself do these things. Like, I'm obviously seeing lots of progress, even though I don't know how visible it is from an outside perspective, but I know, you know, my past art and self, and I know myself now, so I can tell, but, you know, it's kind of hard to describe to another person that may not, you know, see your everyday life, so. But, yeah, progress is good, and I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing because this is just proving to me that it's working. So, yeah. And I think that's all, so bye guys.